Let me go to Keith in Ohio. Hey, Keith.
Hey, how are you, Dan?
I'm good.
Hey, I have a question. I have a net worth of $135,000. I have $30,000 liquid, and I have a $25,000 annuity. I'm 58 years old, and I want to know really what I need to do to get to retirement.
How old are you, Keith?
58.
Well, you know, the best thing you can do is try to protect some of the gains that you've gotten over the last couple of years for a short period of time. In other words, capture some of those gains so that they don't turn into losses. Here's what you can't afford to do. First of all, the only thing you can do to make sure that you protect yourself into retirement is to make sure that you have enough money that is going to be able to generate enough income to supplement the income that you're going to get from other sources. And
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have a pension. I'm self-employed, and I can't predict the next 4 years how much money I'm going to make or anything.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of like, I think I'm kind of behind the eight ball here because, I mean, I have the $30,000 liquid that I know I should be investing, but I don't know what to invest it in.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you should be I don't think you should be investing it, Keith. And here's why. You know, that's not a very large percentage of your overall assets. Okay. I mean, it's pretty big, but you've got to have some capital, some investment that is protected against the downturn in the market. So the other things that you have are exposed to the market. And here's the mistake that you can't make, and I would tell everybody listening not to make. The problem that we get into when we reach a certain age, 55, 58, whatever it is, and we think, well, I gotta do something. And the biggest mistake that I've seen people make over and over again is they try to make up. Now that they have a little bit of money to invest, they try to make up for those years that they didn't have any money to invest. And they're looking for big gains, and they start chasing the market. It is the kiss of death, because when you do that, you're the only possible way that you can begin to catch up is to get good and high gains on your investments. And the only way you get the opportunity to get large gains is to take large risk. You can't have it both ways. So for the thing about taking a lot of risk into some very aggressive things is you have this opportunity for large gains. That's why people do it. The downside is the losses are going to be far greater in those investments than they would be in a more conservative investment. So what you do is you end up digging yourself in a hole with not enough time to get out of, and you end up going backwards instead of forwards. So don't do anything with the money that you have protected, the $30,000, $35,000, whatever it was that you have. You don't keep that right where it is, doing nothing. I know you're not earning anything, but trust me, there is great value in not losing, particularly at your age and in your situation. So the other money that you have, the only thing you can do is you can't be terribly conservative where it's sitting in a money market account or a CD. You've got to take some risk, but you can minimize your risk. So here's what I would tell you. I think that your gain on that money ought to come from a combination of market growth. So yeah, maybe I want to have some oil stocks or some big industrials so that I can get some gain as they grow. They're probably going to pull back before they grow. But I also want to have something that's a little more conservative. So I might have a utility stock, some utilities that are only, $25 a share, that are never going to grow to $50 a share. So I'm not going to get any growth from that. But they're producing 4% in income. So I'm getting a 4% every year on the yield, annual yield, and it might go from $30 to $32. So I get a little bit of growth on top of that. And so you're getting some conservative growth. But here's the thing about the utility. You're not going to see it go from 30 to 20 unless it's really just an aggressive utility, a small utility that's going to get hurt. But it could go from 30 to 28. So the swings on both sides in the value of it aren't going to be great, but you're getting that annual yield. So you're getting your growth from the yield. And then you have some other stocks that you're getting growth from the value of the stock going up. So you should have a combination of both of those things, but not aggressive. If you were 45, different story. Because now if you take a huge hit on those aggressive stocks, you got plenty of time to make it up. You're going to have 15 years, you can make it up. And that's fine. 20 years, you can make it up. And you're okay taking that hit on the downside because you're more than likely in the long run over a course of 20 years, you're going to do very well. But you don't have that opportunity. So I would say have some of those companies that are going to do well, have some cash. Now the market crashes this year, maybe early next year, maybe next year sometime, crashes, comes down dramatically. Now you take the cash and you buy back into the things you already own with the cash. Now you're almost fully invested, and for the next 7 years, 6 years, whatever you have to your retirement, you're probably going to do real well. So I wouldn't be too anxious to invest it. Remember that, for, the opportunity, again, for high gain comes high risk. And I wouldn't want to see you do that.
But it's okay to put it in. It's okay, like if I put $6,000 in an IRA, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Now, but it depends on what the IRA is in. So remember, okay, Keith, an IRA is just a type of an account. Right. But what's in there? Is it aggressive stock? Is it a mutual fund? Is it cash? What is it in? That's the key. Yeah. Okay?
Right. Cool.
All right, Keith.
I really appreciate it because in the past I've been listening to these financial planners and, they told me buy bank stock. I'd go, which one? They go, buy any bank stock. It's going to do nothing but go up. And when I bought it at $20 a share, it went down to $8 a share. And then what do I do now? Right. I don't have enough time to make it up,
Exactly. And that's the key. And that's why you can't listen. Look, they don't make any money unless you invest. But you can't do that. You've got to be, you got to understand, look, you've been blessed. You got a nice little pot of money. It's not huge, but if you live within your means and you can continue to save for the next 7-8 years, you'll be fine. Worst case scenario, you work a little bit longer than you may have wanted to. Just pray that your health stays good. The greatest asset that we have, everybody has, the greatest asset is our ability to earn income. And, so remember when you stop working, you're giving up your greatest asset. You now have no ability to accumulate anymore. So you've got to make sure that, maybe you put some money in a charitable gift annuity to get permanent income. You continue to save, you do some utility stocks, things like that are going to get you income. But you got to stay conservative.